Hello dear students, welcome back to the chemistry class. In the previous class we were discussing about osmosis and osmotic pressure. You learned what is the process of osmosis and what does osmotic pressure means. How osmotic pressure is a colligative property and how you can calculate the molar mass of the solute using the Van 't Hoff's equation for osmotic pressure. Those all things you studied in the yesterday's class. Now, moving forward with the next topic in osmotic pressure, we have types of solution based on osmotic pressures. So based on the osmotic pressure of certain solutions, we have different types of solutions. Mainly we have three types of solutions here. The first one is isotonic solutions. Okay, so what are isotonic solutions? Suppose we have two solutions, solution A and solution B. Okay, we have two solutions here. So the osmotic pressure of solution A, I will take it as pi A. Osmotic pressure of solution B, I will take it as pi B. Now, isotonic solution means the solutions which have the same osmotic pressure. They have the same value, equal value of osmotic pressure. So, here pi A will be equal to pi B. Both solutions have equal amount of osmotic pressure. Hence, they are called isotonic solutions. We say that solution A is isotonic with respect to solution B. When we have both solutions which are isotonic, we say that solution A is isotonic with respect to solution B. That means both solution A and solution B have same value of osmotic pressure. Now, generally the solutions which have the same equimolar concentration, they have the same osmotic pressure. For example, yesterday you learnt Van 't Hoff's equation, pi is equal to CRT. You learned that here. If we remove these constants, pi will be directly proportional to concentration. So, as the concentration increases, the osmotic pressure increases. If the concentration of the solution is more, then osmotic pressure will be more. So, here we have 0.1 m. For example, it is urea solution. Let us assume that the solution B, it is 0.1 m urea solution. So what is the concentration here? It is 0.1 molarity. Capital M means molarity. So the concentration of this solution is 0.1 m or 1 m urea solution. So if the solution B is sucrose solution, sugar solution, the concentration has to be same. So it is also has to be 0.1 m. So if the concentration of the solutions are same, these solutions will be isotonic solutions because osmotic pressure will be equal. Osmotic pressures depend on concentration. If the concentrations are equal, osmotic pressure will be equal. Hence, these solutions are called isotonic solutions. But when the concentrations are different, we have different types of solutions. So, second type of solutions now. The first type of solution is isotonic solutions. Solutions having equal or same amount of osmotic pressure. They have same concentration. Now, the second type of solution. Hypertonic solution. This is the second type of solution based on osmotic pressure. The third type of solution, we have hypotonic solution. So the first one was isotonic solution, the second one was hypertonic solution, The third one was is hypotonic solution. Now, what is hypertonic solution? Again, I will take two solutions. One is A, the other one is B. Now, the osmotic pressure of A is pi A, osmotic pressure of B is pi B. Okay. Now, if the osmotic pressure of A, it is greater than osmotic pressure of solution B. Let us assume that the osmotic pressure of solution A, it is greater than, it has higher value compared to osmotic pressure of B. For example, it may be 10 atmosphere and this may be 5 atmosphere. Okay, as you can see, the osmotic pressure of solution A has higher value compared to osmotic pressure of solution B. Now, it is known that the solution which has higher osmotic pressure, it is called hypertonic solution. Okay, the solution which has higher value of osmotic pressure, it is called as hypertonic solution. And the solution which has lower value of osmotic pressure, it is called hypotonic solution. So, hypertonic solution means it has higher value of osmotic pressure. Means solution A which has higher value of osmotic pressure, it is called hypertonic solution. Hypotonic solution, it has lesser value of or smaller value of osmotic pressure. So, which solution has lesser value here, smaller value? That is solution B. Hence, solution B is hypotonic solution. So, both are very simple. Hypertonic solution means solution which has higher value of osmotic pressure. Hypotonic solution means solution which has smaller or lesser value of osmotic pressure. And the first one was isotonic solution. It means equal osmotic pressure. Now, for example, here I will take urea solution. Suppose it is 0.05 m. This is the concentration of urea solution. Now, here I will take sucrose solution again. Concentration I will take 0.1 m. Now, which concentration is higher here? Obviously, sucrose solution has higher concentration value. Hence, it will have higher osmotic pressure. The urea solution which has smaller concentration value, it will have smaller osmotic pressure. So, concentration, it is directly proportional to osmotic pressure. If the concentration is higher, the osmotic pressure will be higher. Now, here hypotonic solution means the solution which has lesser value of osmotic pressure. Now, here we say that A, solution A, it is hypertonic with respect to solution B. We say that solution A is hypertonic with respect to solution B. That means the solution A has higher osmotic pressure compared to solution B. Whereas here we will reverse it. Here we say that solution B is hypotonic with respect to solution A. Here we say that solution B, it is hypotonic with respect to solution A. That means the solution B has lesser value of osmotic pressure compared to solution A. So these are three types of solutions based on osmotic pressure. We have the first one, that is isotonic solutions. Isotonic solutions means equal amount of osmotic pressure, same amount of osmotic pressure. Both the solutions have equal amount of osmotic pressure. Then the second one was hypertonic solution. The solution which has higher value of osmotic pressure, it is called hypertonic solution. Then hypotonic solution, the solution which has lower value of osmotic pressure, it is called hypotonic solution. So these are the three types of solutions which are based on osmotic pressure. Now, let me give you an example of isotonic and hypertonic and hypotonic solution when we consider the fluids present in our red blood cells. So let me take 0.91% of sodium chloride solution. Okay, 0.91% of NaCl solution. It is called as saline water. It is called as saline water. What is saline water? It is the 0.91% of sodium chloride solution, NaCl solution. Now this solution, it is found to be isotonic. It is found to be isotonic with respect to fluids present in red blood cells in our body. That means this solution has same amount of osmotic pressures compared to the fluids present in RBCs. Okay, so isotonic means the osmotic pressures of these two solutions, they are equal. So remember this concentration. If the concentration is exactly 0.91%, then this saline water, this sodium chloride solution, it is isotonic with the fluids which are present in red blood cells. Means both these solutions have same amount of osmotic pressure. Now what if the concentration is less than 0.91%? What if the concentration of this saline water is less than 0.91% of saline water solution? Now if the concentration is less than 0.91%, we say that this solution is hypotonic with respect to fluids present in red blood cells. If the concentration is less than this, means it may be 0.90, it may be 0.20, it is 0.50, anything less than this concentration of sodium chloride solution, it is said to be hypotonic with respect to fluids in red blood cells. That means this solution, it will have less amount of osmotic pressure compared to fluids in red blood cells. As a result, what happens? The water from this solution will flow into RBCs. The water from this solution will flow into RBCs because osmotic pressure is less here. That is why red blood cells, they will swell or burst. Okay, the red blood cells, they will swell or burst when they are placed in this solution, because this solution has less concentration. This solution has less osmotic pressure compared to fluids in RBCs. So if a question is asked, what happens to red blood cells when they are placed in saline water containing less than this concentration? You have to say that RBCs will swell or RBCs will burst because the osmotic pressure of saline water is less. It is hypotonic compared to the fluids in RBCs. Hypotonic means lesser amount of osmotic pressure. This solution, it contains or it has less amount of osmotic pressure compared to the RBCs. That is why when RBCs, they are dipped or they are inserted in this solution, the RBCs will burst. Why they will burst? Because water will enter into the RBCs. Water from this solution, it will go into the RBCs. Now, the third kind of solution. If the concentration is more than this percentage, so if the concentration is more than 0.91%, means it may be 0.92%, it may be 1%, it may be 20%, so on. Okay, if the concentration is more than 0.91% of same solution, NaCl solution, saline water solution, this solution is said to be hypertonic. This solution, it is said to be hypertonic with respect to the fluids present in RBCs. Okay, so when RBCs are inserted in this solution, what happens? So this solution of saline water which contains more concentration than 0.91%, it is said to be hypertonic with respect to RBCs. That means it has more osmotic pressure. Hypertonic solution means the solution has more osmotic pressure compared to the other solution. Here, this saline water solution has more osmotic pressure compared to RBCs, fluids present in RBCs. Hence, when RBCs are inserted, they are dipped in this saline water solution, what happens? The water will flow out of the RBCs. The RBCs will lose water, they will flow into this solution because this solution has more concentration. This solution has more osmotic pressure. As a result, RBCs, they will shrink. So if a question is asked, what happens when red blood cells, RBCs, are inserted or placed in the saline water solution containing more concentration than 0.91%? You have to say that the red blood cells, they will shrink. Why they will shrink? Because water will flow out of these cells. Why they will flow out of these cells? Because these cells contain lesser concentration compared to this solution. Yesterday I told you about osmosis. Osmosis means flow of solvent molecules from less concentrated solution to higher concentrated solution. So here, out of these two solutions, this solution contains lesser concentration. This solution contains higher concentration. As a result, water will flow from these fluids to this solution. As a result, RBCs will lose water. Hence, they will shrink in size. When you compare these two solutions here, these two solutions, here RBCs, these fluids in RBCs have more concentration compared to this solution. As a result, water will flow from this solution to the RBCs. RBCs is getting extra water content because it has higher concentration. Since it gets extra water here, it swells, it bursts. Okay, so this is the concept of isotonic, hypotonic and hypertonic solutions. What happens when RBCs are placed in saline water containing this much concentration? Nothing happens because it is isotonic. Both solutions have same concentration, so there is no flow of solvent molecules here. So no osmosis takes place here because concentrations are same. Osmotic pressures are same. Whereas if you consider the second solution, here the concentration, it is less than 0.91%. So concentration of this solution, it is less compared to fluids present in RBCs. So osmotic pressure in this solution, it is less than the fluids present in RBCs. As a result, when these RBCs are placed in this solution, water will flow out of saline water through the RBCs. RBC is getting extra water, hence they will swell and burst. Now, when the concentration is more than 0.91%, this solution will have higher concentration compared to the fluids in RBCs. As a result, water from these fluids will flow into this solution. In these solutions, when RBCs are placed in these solutions, the RBCs are losing water. Hence, they will shrink. So, these are the three things about isotonic, hypotonic and hypertonic solutions. Now, let us move forward with the next and last topic in osmotic pressure, that we have reverse osmosis. When I was discussing the differences between osmosis and diffusion in the previous class, I explained you that osmosis can be prevented and osmosis can be reversed. Osmosis can be prevented by applying osmotic pressure. Now, what is osmosis? Let us start with it. Let us rewind again. So, we have osmosis here, we have reverse osmosis here. Okay, so what is osmosis? So we have a setup here. We have two vessels separated by a semi-permeable membrane. So this is the first vessel here. In this vessel, what is present? Pure solvent is present. In this vessel, what is present? Solution is present. Any solution. Here, any pure solvent. For example, solution you can take sugar solution. Solvent you can take water. Okay. So, pure solvent is present here. Solution is present here. They are separated by a semi-permeable membrane. Yesterday, I explained you what is a semi-permeable membrane. It is a membrane which allows the flow of solvent molecules only. The solute particles or solute molecules, they are not at all involved in osmosis process. So, during osmosis, what happens? The solvent molecules, the solvent molecules from this pure solvent, they will flow through this semi-permeable membrane. They will flow from pure solvent to solution. As a result, the solution volume increases. Okay, so osmosis means flow of pure solvent molecules from pure solvent to solution through semi-permeable membrane. Now, how can osmosis be prevented? It can be prevented by applying osmotic pressure. If you apply suitable amount of pressure here on the solution side, the solvent molecules can be prevented from flowing. The osmosis can be prevented by applying osmotic pressure. Now, what happens? The pressure larger than osmotic pressure is applied on the solution side. So, what happens when pressure which is larger than osmotic pressure? If osmotic pressure is applied, osmosis is just prevented. But what happens if the pressure which is larger than osmotic pressure is applied on the solution side? What happens? Reverse osmosis takes place. Reverse osmosis means the movement of solvent molecules from solution to pure solvent. Here in osmosis, the solvent molecules are flowing from pure solvent to the solution. They are flowing from here to here. But during reverse osmosis, the solvent molecules will flow from solution to pure solvent. Here, the flow of solvent molecules, it is from solution to pure solvent. It is reverse. And when it is possible, when pressure larger than osmotic pressure is applied on solution side. Remember, pressure is always applied on the solution side, not on pure solvent side. So, when pressure larger than osmotic pressure is applied on solution side, the solvent molecules present in the solution, they will flow through this semi-permeable membrane. They will flow from this solution side to the pure solvent side. Hence, we call it reverse osmosis. Here, osmosis, it is from left to right. Reverse osmosis, it is from right to left. So, this is reverse osmosis. Now, another example, application for reverse osmosis. We have desalination of sea water. Desalination of sea water. You know that sea water, it is called salt water. Sea water, it is called salt water because it contains NaCl. So, desalination of sea water, desalination of salt water means removal of NaCl. Removal of salts from the seawater or salt water. When desalination of seawater is done, you get pure water, drinking water. So how does desalination of water, seawater, it is done by reverse osmosis. So here, again I have taken two setups here. On this side, we have salt water solution. Okay, this is nothing but salt solution, salt water. It is obtained from sea. On this side, we have fresh water, drinking water. Here also, this side we have fresh water, drinking water. And here we have salt water or sea water. Now, when no pressure is applied, when no pressure, nothing is applied, no pressure is applied on this side of the solution, what happens? Osmosis takes place. So here, osmosis takes place. Osmosis means flow of water molecules. Solvent is the water here. So flow of water molecules from fresh water to salt water. Okay, water is flowing from fresh water to salt water. That is osmosis. When osmosis takes place, when no pressure is applied. Now, when pressure is applied, this pressure is larger than osmotic pressure. So, when a certain pressure which is larger than osmotic pressure is applied on salt water, what happens? The solvent molecules, that is water molecules present in this salt water, they will flow from this salt water into fresh water. That is reversed. We call it reverse osmosis. Okay, when pressure larger than osmotic pressure is applied on this salt water side, what happens? The water molecules present in this salt water will flow from this side to this side. They will flow from salt water to fresh water. As a result, you get pure drinking water. The water molecules from this salt water will be removed using reverse osmosis. The solute particles, that is NaCl, they will remain here because osmosis does not include the flow of solute particles. So solute particles will not be allowed to pass through by semi-permeable membrane. The semi-permeable membrane will only allow water molecules to pass through it. Hence we will be getting pure water using reverse osmosis. So desalination of seawater, it is an important application of reverse osmosis. So it is used, reverse osmosis is used to obtain pure drinking water or fresh water from seawater or salt water. Now, moving forward with the numerical problems for osmotic pressure. Here we will solve some numerical problems in which you will be calculating the molar mass of the solute. I told you before, the calculation of molar mass of the solute. These numerical problems, they carry 3 marks. I have told you that this is a definite fixed question for the annual examination. You have 4 colligative properties, and this numerical problem, it will come from any one of those colligative properties. Now we are talking about the 4th colligative properties, that is osmotic pressure. So the problem, the first one, 200 cm cube of an aqueous solution of a protein contains 1.26 gram of the protein. So we have an aqueous solution, means water is the solvent in this solution. It contains protein as the solute. The solute in this aqueous solution, it is the protein. And what is the mass of the protein? That is 1.26 gram. It is given. The mass of the solute is given. Also what is given? The volume of the solution is given. It is given in cm cube. Now, the osmotic pressure of such a solution is found to be 2.57 into 10 raised to minus 3 bar. The osmotic pressure of that solution, aqueous solution, it is given, it is that much. And what else is given? Temperature is given, that is 300 degree Kelvin. Now, calculate the molar mass of the solute. You have to calculate MB, molar mass of the solute. What else is given? The constant value of R is given, that is 0.082. Now, previously you have derived an expression for the calculation of molar mass of the solute, just in the previous class, last class. There you have derived that MB, it is equal to WB multiplied by RT divided by volume of the solution in liters multiplied by osmotic pressure. So here MB stands for molar mass of the solute, you have to calculate it. WB stands for the mass of the solute. R stands for the constant, T stands for the temperature, V volume, okay, in liters. So it is given in cm cube, you have to convert it into liters. And pi stands for osmotic pressure, it is also given 2.57. So you know the value of WB, mass of the solute, that is 1.26 grams. Then you know the value of R, that is 0.082 liter bar per Kelvin per mole. You know the value of osmotic pressure, that is 2.57 into 10 raised to minus 3 bar. Units are very important, remember that. And what else is given? Volume is given, it is 200 cm cube. If you want to convert this cm cube into liter, you have to divide it by 1000. So 200 divided by 1000, it is nothing but 0.2 liters. So this is the volume in liters. Always remember, if volume is given in cm cube, if it is given in ml, you have to convert it into liter. Then only you can substitute the value here. Now this is equal to, what is WB? It is 1.26 multiplied by, what is R? It is 0.082. And I forgot to write the temperature here. Temperature is 300 Kelvin. So temperature is 300 divided by, what is the volume? You calculated here in liter, it is 0.2 liters multiplied by, and osmotic pressure, it is 2.57 into 10 raised to minus 3. Okay, now you can easily calculate this. Now when you calculate this, you will get a value 61,039. This is gram per mole. That is the unit for molar mass. So this is the answer for this numerical problem. It is very simple to calculate. You have to know you have to remember the formula. If you remember the formula, you can substitute the value of given terms and you can calculate the value of the molar mass of the solute. If you do this, you will get 3 marks very easily. Now, let us move forward with the second numerical problem. Again, a very simple problem. Here we have, if 1.7 gram of sugar, okay, so sugar is taken, that is 1.71 gram. This is the mass of the solute. Molar mass of this sugar is given, that is 342. This is the molar mass of the solute. It is already given. Now this solute is dissolved in 500 cm cube of solution. So this much solution is given, means this is the volume of the solution, 500 cm cube. At 300 Kelvin, the temperature is also given. What you have to calculate? You have to calculate the osmotic pressure. What will be the osmotic pressure of the solution? The value of constant R is given. So what else? So what are given totally? The mass of solute, that is sugar, it is given 1.71 gram, right? Then the molar mass of solute is given, MB, it is 342. Then the volume of solution is given, that is 500 cm cube, and I just told you that if it is given in cm cube or ml, you have to compulsorily convert it into liter. So 500 divided by 1000 will get 0.5 liters. That is the volume of the solution. Temperature is given, that is 300 Kelvin. And R is given, that is 0.082 liter bar per Kelvin per mole. And you have to calculate the osmotic pressure. Just previously, in the previous numerical problem, you used the formula for MB. MB, it is equal to WB RT divided by V into osmotic pressure pi. This is the formula you use for the calculation of molar mass of the solute. But here, molar mass of the solute is already given. You have to calculate pi. You have to calculate osmotic pressure. So let me take the osmotic pressure on this side, and MB I will send it to that side. So osmotic pressure pi will be equal to WB into RT divided by volume. So when MB is sent this side, it will come on the denominator. Now this is equal to, what is WB? It is 1.71. What is R? It is 0.082. What is temperature? It is 300 Kelvin. And what is the value of volume here? It is 0.5 liters. And what is MB? It is 342. Now when you calculate all this, you will get a value of 0.249. Now important thing here is to write the unit. Now how do you write the unit for this pressure? Whether you will write atmosphere, or whether you will write bar, or you will write Pascal, or you will write kilopascal, which one you will write? Now here you have to use the value, the unit given for R as the unit for osmotic pressure. So what is the unit of pressure given here for R? It is given bar, hence you will write bar here. If atmospheric pressure is given ATM, if it is given, then you have to write ATM. If Pascal is given, you have to write Pascal. So here the osmotic pressure calculated for this solution, it is 0.249. It is exactly opposite to the previous numerical problem. In the previous numerical problem, pi was given, you have to calculate MB. But in this problem, MB is given, you have to calculate osmotic pressure. Again, this question, this numerical problem, it is for 3 marks. Next, we move forward with the third problem here. We have a solution prepared by dissolving 8.95 milligram of a gene fragment in 35 ml of solution. So a solution is prepared by dissolving this much of the solute in this volume of the solution. Has an osmotic pressure. The value of osmotic pressure is given with a different unit, that is torr. Okay. And the temperature is also given, that is 25 degrees Celsius. Determine the molar mass of the gene fragment. You have to calculate the molar mass of the solute. Here gene fragment, it is the solute. The value of constant R is given. Now, weight of the solute, weight of the gene fragment, it is 8.95 milligram. So it is given in milligram, you have to convert it into grams. So this is equal to 8.95 divided by 1000. This will be the gram. To convert milligram into gram, you have to divide it by 1000. So you'll get 8.95 into 10 raised to minus 3 gram. If you send 1000 on the numerator side, it becomes 10 raised to minus 3. Okay. Next, what is given? The volume of the solution is given. V is equal to 35 ml. It is given in ml, and I told you, if it is given in ml or cm cube, you have to convert it into liter. Again, dividing by 1000, you will get 35 into 10 raised to minus 3 liter. This is the volume of the solution. Then the osmotic pressure is given, that is 0.335 torr. So it is given in torr, but look at the constant here, R, it is given in ATM. So it is important to match both the units. So you have to convert this torr into ATM. You should know that 1 torr is equal to 1 by 760 atmospheric pressure. Hence what you have to do, you have to divide this by 760. So 0.5 335 divided by 760 atmospheric pressure. Okay, so you have to remember this conversion. And what else is given? Temperature is given. So 25 degree Celsius. So again, it is given in Celsius. It is important that you have Kelvin here because it is given in Kelvin. So how do you convert Celsius into Kelvin? You just add 273. So 25 plus 273, that is nothing but 298 Kelvin. So none of the units are properly given. Here mg is given, we have to convert it into gram. Here ml is given, we have to convert it into liter. Here torr is given, you have to convert it into atmosphere. And here Celsius is given, you have to convert it into Kelvin. Then you can calculate the molar mass of the solute. You know the formula. Mb, it is equal to Wb multiplied by RT divided by volume multiplied by atmospheric pressure. So osmotic pressure. This is equal to, what is Wb? It is 8.95 into 10 raised to minus 3. What is the value of R? It is given 0.0821. Let me write it this side a little bit. It is Mb. It is equal to, so Wb it is 8.95 into 10 raised to minus 3, R is 0.0821, temperature it is 298 Kelvin, we calculated here, divided by, what is the volume? Volume is 35 into 10 raised to minus 3 into, and what is pi? What is osmotic pressure? It is 0.335 divided by 760. Now this 10 raised to minus 3 get cancelled with this 10 raised to minus 3. This 760 you can send it above, so you'll get 8.95 into 0.082 into 298 into 760 divided by, you have 35 multiplied by 0.335. Now when you calculate all this, the value of Mb will be 14,193.3 gram per mole. 14,193.3 gram per mole. Now you can write it as 1.41 into 10 raised to 4 gram per mole. Both are correct. So this is the value of molar mass of the solute. So remember, it is always important to convert the units if it is not given in grams, if it is not given in Kelvin, if it is not given in atmosphere and liter. So this is again for 3 marks. It is the calculation of molar mass of the solute. Now moving forward with the last problem, we have a solution containing 15 gram urea. Molar mass of urea is given, that is 60 gram per mole. So 15 gram urea per liter of the solution. So per liter means it is 1 liter of the solution. In water has the same osmotic pressure. So this solution, it has same osmotic pressure, means isotonic compared to another solution of glucose. So we have 2 solutions here, solution of urea and solution of glucose. It is said that both the solutions have same osmotic pressure. Means both the solution, that means they are isotonic with respect to each other. Isotonic means, I told you, same osmotic pressure. 2 solutions having same osmotic pressures. So solution of glucose, molar mass of the glucose is given, that is 180 gram per mole. What you have to calculate? You have to calculate the mass or weight of the glucose which is present in 1 liter of the solution. So we have 2 solutions here. On one side you have urea solution, on the other side you have glucose solution. And what is given? The weight of urea is given that is 15 grams. The molar mass of urea is given Mb, that is 60 gram per mole. Now, what will be the value of osmotic pressure for urea? You know the formula for osmotic pressure of any solution. Pi is equal to Wb multiplied by RT divided by volume multiplied by Mb. Now this is equal to, what is Wb here? It is 15 grams. RT we don't know, just let it keep them as it is. What is the volume? It says per liter of the solution, means volume is 1 liter multiplied by, what is Mb? It is 60. So osmotic pressure for urea, it is equal to 15 RT divided by 60, or it is equal to, when you divide this, you get RT divided by 4. This is osmotic pressure for urea. Now let us come to glucose solution. Weight of the glucose, you have to calculate the mass of glucose. Molar mass of glucose is given, it is 180 grams per mole. And volume of this solution is given, it is 1 liter. Now let us apply the same formula for glucose. So osmotic pressure for glucose, it is equal to Wb RT divided by volume into Mb. Now what is Wb? You have to calculate it. RT you don't know as it is, divided by, what is the volume here? It is 1 liter into Mb, it is 180. So osmotic pressure of glucose, it is Wb RT divided by 180. Now, what is given here? It is given that this solution, urea solution and glucose solutions, they have same osmotic pressure. Means this osmotic pressure, it is equal to this osmotic pressure. So osmotic pressure of urea, it is equal to osmotic pressure of glucose. We say that these two solutions are isotonic because they have same osmotic pressure. So what is osmotic pressure of urea? It is RT by 4. It is equal to, what is the osmotic pressure of glucose? It is Wb RT by 180. RT and RT will get cancelled. Now Wb, it is equal to, if you send 180 on the other side, it will come on numerator side, divided by 4. It's nothing but 45 grams. So this is the mass or weight of glucose, the second solution. So this is how you have to calculate. If the isotonic solutions are given, you have to take that one osmotic pressure of the first solution, it is equal to osmotic solution, the osmotic pressure of the second solution. We call them isotonic solutions. By doing this, you can cancel out the constants very easily and you can calculate the mass of the solute.